Ms. Foo Mee Har.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I agree completely with the Finance Minister's statement that Singapore's ability to plan for the long term is our strategic advantage. The social and economic measures unveiled in Budget 2019 built on the government's efforts and investments in prior years to address aging, social mobility, and economic transformation. I welcome the targeted measures that built on that momentum to transform our economy and care for our people. This budget offers a systematic set of programs, each reinforcing and building on existing ones. I'm also heartened to see how, over the years, social safety nets continue to be strengthened for Singaporeans and how our drive to raise productivity and transform our economy begin to bear fruit, even as much more remains to be done. As we celebrate our bicentennial year, we should count our blessings of a strong economy, a united people, and the enormous advantages this presents in enabling us to chart our future confidently over the long term amidst a complex and volatile world. Our unique position contrasts starkly with many other countries. This includes two of the world's largest economies. I witnessed the anxiety and suffering of many American families resulting from their government shutdown and the nightmare scenarios the British people and businesses are contemplating in anticipation of Brexit outcomes. Sir, the generous measures in this budget to help alleviate cost of living pressures are indeed timely. The Merdeka Generating Package of 6.1 billion will provide 500,000 Singaporeans born in the 1950s better peace of mind in regard to their healthcare cost. The bicentennial bonus of 1.1 billion will provide additional help for broad groups of Singaporeans with their living expenses. This year's bicentennial bonus follows last year's 700 million SG bonus. This gesture of sharing surpluses with Singaporeans whenever our finances allow should be the regular feature of all future budgets. There is no better way to build social cohesion than to share these upsides with the people. Sir, Budget 2019 attempts to tackle many core issues facing Singapore. I would like to focus my speech on measures proposed to transform our economy and strengthen Singapore's economic competitiveness. The Finance Minister's vision of building Singapore as the global Asia node of technology, innovation, and enterprise is very exciting. We can be very proud of the progress we've made in nurturing a flourishing startup ecosystem. We saw a significant rise in venture capital deals and the setting up of 150 global venture capital funds, incubators, and accelerators based right here to support startups in Singapore and in the region. We invest substantially in scientific research, with $19 billion set aside for Research, Innovation and Enterprise 2020 plan. We now have a huge pulling power to bring the global innovation community to Singapore, as witnessed by the success of the Singapore FinTech Festival. As a globally recognized leader of intellectual property protection and scientific research, we are indeed very well poised to fully deploy our strengths and to make this vision a reality. Sir, to support this vision, we should focus our support on startups in deep tech with research-based IP at its core, rather than just general startups, especially on startups with the potential to scale globally. We should also strengthen our funding strategies for our universities and research institutes to encourage multidisciplinary collaboration, including partnership with corporates to solve impactful real-world issues. The reward system for our researchers and academics should provide the motivation for them to supercharge commercialization of R&D and industry applications. I'm excited about the plans to encourage young Singaporeans to gain overseas working experience with the Global Ready Talent Program. Such internships afford an eye-opening and mind-broadening experience that no amount of book learning can offer. Our youth, equipped with unraveled education and multilingualism, will better understand our place in the world and how to make the most of it. During my own corporate days, overseas assignments were a key component of development programs, typically reserved for only the selected top graduates only. So I'm very pleased that this is now readily available to many Singaporeans through the government support. My advice to our lucky young people: go seize the opportunity. Going digital and automation continue to be big themes in Budget 2019. The call for businesses, big and small, to go digital is loud and clear. Many companies have highlighted that skills and talent shortages as significant barriers for them to going digital and adopting new technologies. So, sir, besides the basic digital skills for everyday activities, our push to go digital must include an expansive talent strategy, especially for expertise in high-demand areas such as quantum computing, data analytics, artificial intelligence, and cybersecurity. The expertise and skill sets we need for digitalization drive are in short supply the world over. So we must critically evaluate how Singapore can build a sustainable pipeline of local talent, as well as attract the best of foreign manpower in order to build that critical mass necessary for a thriving innovation hub. We can't do this alone. We must also look around. We must benchmark our attractiveness to compete for these globally mobile talents with other established centers, such as Silicon Valley, as well as new clusters like the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, Greater Bay Area. With industry transformation maps covering 80% of our economy, their progress is central to our economic restructuring effort to foster innovation, boost productivity, and develop skills of workers in their respective industries. Even with 23 ITMs launched, their contributions so far are unclear. The feedback from the ground is that the pivotal roles that industry stakeholders and trade associations and chambers, TACs, are expected to play, so the role they're expected to play, have proven to be uneven across industries. Far too few TACs are able to lead development of industry-wide capabilities and help the members access local and international networks. I think there is a really urgent need for the government to evaluate the partnership model and support structure of how the different government agencies, TACs, industry players, unions, and training providers can come together to accelerate deep capability development. Sir, amongst the economic measures, I'm comforted to see that the Finance Minister has dedicated 3.6 billion to support workers across many schemes. Many lower wage workers who previously earned just over 2,000 are rejoicing to see the Workfare Income Supplement qualifying income cap being adjusted from 2,000 to 2,300 per month. Workfare is a key pillar of our social security system. This enhancement will provide $1 billion a year to supplement the income of 440,000 Singaporeans. I would like to ask the government to consider qualifying more low-income Singaporeans to this uniquely Singapore scheme. With the rise of the gig economy, more Singaporeans, young and old, are engaged in work without the security of regular contributions to CPF and healthcare support. So keeping in mind the overriding social objective of helping Singaporeans with earnings in the bottom 20%, it makes sense, it really would make sense to offer a form of WIS to lower income gig economy workers to also help them save for retirement and healthcare, encourage work, and raise their income. Mr. Speaker, sir, In regard of the outlook of our fiscal position, Budget 2019 is expansionary with overall deficit of 3.5 billion. The healthy fiscal surplus accumulated by this government in its current term has provided significant room for the finance minister to plan ahead. He set aside a large sum of 15.3 billion under special transfers, including 6.1 billion for Merdeka Generation Fund and 5.08 billion for long-term care fund support to meet Singaporeans' long-term needs. This is on top of the financial year 2018 special transfer of 9 billion for future rail infrastructure and GST voucher needs. Yes, we are counting, Finance Minister. This enviable financial position is made possible by our strong fiscal discipline, robust contributions from NRIC, and a strong economy in 2017 and 2018. So with the accumulated surplus of about 18 billion from previous years, there are also ample buffer for counter-cyclical measures should global economy pose greater downside risks than anticipated. So with the significant funds already set aside in the last 2 years for future healthcare and infrastructure needs, I believe we are now in a much better, stronger fiscal position than planned. This scenario, also coupled with the government's differentiated fiscal strategy to using borrowings to fund major long-term infrastructure projects, should offer relief from the need for major tax increases in the near to medium term. I urge the Finance Minister to maintain our current tax regime for a much longer period, postponing the unpopular GST rate hike for as long as possible. Mr. Speaker, Budget 2019 addresses many issues, none more urgent than the need to restructure our economy for the next lap. This is truly our burning platform, and we must press on. Mr. Speaker, I support the budget.